close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the main action of the China Open, as now we welcome the greatest player of all time, and only Stephen Hendry will have something to say about that potentially if he doesn't like that factor. But it is of course once again Ronnie O'Sullivan back at China, no surprise out there, as he's still going to be very much looking to try and get back onto the winning form and get the first win of the season after losing out to the eventual winner of Karen Wilson at the Shanghai to the eventual finalist of Karen Wilson in the Shanghai Masters. It was very much a tough start to him at that particular point, but still, despite only winning 4 frames, he has managed to score 3 century breaks. And, when it comes down to break building for Ronnie, I feel like it wasn't really the problem for him. The biggest issue probably was down to, once again, the good old problems with the long shots. I don't think that was the biggest issue, but I think it was still relevant for him to be struggling with that particular aspect of the game. And also, I think the safety was way below average, so hopefully Ronnie is going to be able to improve on that today. But ultimately, and of course more importantly, we're not necessarily looking at a match against Karen Wilson. We're looking at the match against someone like Jackson Page, the world number 39, that he's still going to be very much looking to try and get into the second round and join the likes of David Gilbert, Liu Hongyu and Joey Long as the potential players that we have seen knock out the big names. Judd Trump already eliminated, and we've seen Weezer to go the distance points against the Alpine chain. So that was certainly very, very close for him as well. Xiao Guodong was not too far away from losing out to Anthony McGill as well, as now we can see Table 1, he was down to Judd Trump against Naponte Income. That match is already finished, and now he will be down to Ronnie O'Sullivan up against Jackson Page here as well. Met 3 times, won at the UK Championship, once at the, I think it was at the English Open, last 64. And then he was now, of course, at the first round of the World Championship. And very much a trademark, actually, scoreline when it comes down to having 10-1 win for Ronnie O'Sullivan out there up against the unseeded players. Not very good at predicting score. 6-5, I think. Page is going to 5 hard. Yeah, I think if it's going to go the distance, then I probably wouldn't say that it will be down to Ronnie to win. I think if it is going to be the match that will see a decider, I think that way you'll probably be unlikely scoreline and the unlikely outcome for Ronnie to be victorious out there, but still possible. You know, I think if you look at it, world ranking 14 versus 39, 17,000 worth of points scored on the previous season, 12,000 scored for Page there, and 17 for Ronnie. When it comes down to 90, 50 plus breaks, 74 for Page. And yeah, I mean, Ronnie's always going to be leading every single stat there because he is the highest seed. He's still a 7-time world champion, and just because he hasn't won a ranking event in a while doesn't really mean anything. But he's won this tournament before. You're going to have to go way before, 2000. And I don't know, I think it is 2000 was the last time he managed to win the China Open, which is quite a long time ago. But, he's not quite going to be in the same category as the likes of Robertson, Ding Junhui and Mark Selby. But listen, Ding is already out. Trump is already out as well. Mark Williams is out. John Higgins, Mark Selby. And, Ding, of course, is out as well. So we only have Robertson, Selby, and probably someone like Higgins and Ronnie that are still in the action for, the China Open, that have actually managed to win this tournament beforehand, because obviously Peter Ebdon is no longer on the tour after his brilliant win in 2012 at the China Open. But I think from Ronnie's point of view, he just needs a very flawless, a very simple, and a very clean match here. That's all he needs, because then he's going to be up against Naponte Income, which, as we've seen already, last thing you want to do is to underestimate him. We've seen someone that goes on, a player from Thailand that goes on and beats Trump and could play O'Sullivan in the next round. He does remind you of the World Open final last season, where it was Chipchaya that managed to beat Trump in a first of 6 and then absolutely annihilated Ronnie in the second or even the third part of that particular final. Up the table is Sean. We'll see if he survives first round. Yeah, I think I was actually looking at the odds, and it's a little bit weird for me that Sean Murphy to beat Matthew Selt is the same as Ronnie O'Sullivan to beat Jackson Page out there. But I suppose the more you think about it, the more it actually, makes sense. Have I seen the name correctly? The referee's name that he's going to be officiating in Table 2 is absolutely exactly the same name as Shego John, the player that Ronnie has played in the first round of the World Championship. I mean, that's certainly going to be something to look out for. I mean, they were introducing the players onto the Table 2, so then I just had a look at it and I was like, he's not playing, is he? Because it's Matthew Selt against Murphy. I just said that. It's only 2 tables. Okay, I'm going to have a look at that one. Because what are the chances of that? I mean, they're both clearly from China, of course, but still, it's a little bit of a odd thing to have. Anyways, now it's going to be the Magician and, of course, the world number 6, as we see Karen Wilson to be losing out even more ranking points for the time being, of course. Xi'an Grand Prix was held at this time 2 years ago, so now it's going to have to be adjusted all the way to October. So if we're going to have to wait for that particular moment to come later on, and then Wilson is going to be able to get his ranking points back onto the score sheet if he, of course, is able to get quite far into the Xi'an Grand Prix. Wilson. It's been a while since Wilson has managed to win a ranking event. Certainly not last season, despite him winning Shanghai Masters and the Triple Crown Masters as well. He'll still be looking for that UK Championship to try and complete the set out there as well. But more importantly here, I think you've got a great chance here for someone like Ronnie. I mean, Ronnie will potentially play Sean in the quarterfinals, so it does remind you a little bit if both of them make it all the way out there, which is only 2 matches away, that quarterfinal appearance. which does remind you of the match they would have had at the World Open. A really good match that we've seen of, of Sean Murphy and Ronnie O'Sullivan at that page. And I mean, Jackson Page, it says age 24. I was absolutely baffled. It said for me, when I checked it, it was age 25. I'm absolutely stunned when I've seen that Jackson Page is 25 years old. I mean, the fact that he was born in 2001, he looks nothing like it, and I'll be absolutely honest. And it feels like he's been in the game for an awful lot of time. I mean, I think he played in the first round of the World Championship against Ronnie in 2019. Indeed, he's incredibly young. I mean, to think that Yao Pencheng is 29 and Jackson Page is 25. I mean, Ronnie O'Sullivan is twice his age, basically. That's incredible. Age 50 of Ronnie O'Sullivan, age 25 from let's have a look again, because they say age 24, but I'm pretty sure I checked this morning, and he was saying that he is very much, he's 25. He had his birthday yesterday, actually, so there you go. He can give himself a bit of a gift, and that, of course, explains it why they haven't updated the stats out there. But yeah, I mean, turning 25 yesterday, certainly will be some way for you to get a birthday present like that, to be playing against a 7-time world champion. But of course, he's only managed to win 5 frames against him. 1 at the English Open, 3 at the UK Championship, and then of course 1 more at the World Championship as well. So then, haven't really seen a lot of them, and a lot of Jackson Page previously in the last season, but to be fair, we haven't really seen a lot of Ronnie there, apart from those 2 really good campaigns at the Saudi Masters, and then of course at the World Open as well. You could throw Xi'an Grand Prix in there as well, because he did reach the quarterfinal there, but apart from that, we've seen Page, of course, to get through to the quarterfinals, where he lost out to Mark Selby at the English Open, and now it's a brilliant break-off there from Ronnie. I mean, what was that all about? It's clearly here to play when it comes down to off the first shot, but brilliant stuff there. Don't think it's going to be quite as brilliant for Jackson Page, though. It's going to be 6 points given away there to Ronnie O'Sullivan, and it will be down to a chance here for the ping to be respotted, so potentially a chance for Page to give away even more foul points, or for him to get the contact a little bit better. He was under 18 world and European champion, been around a long time. He's incredible, because I remember him from, I'm not going to say I remember him from 10 years ago, but I certainly remember him from 2021, and that was 4 years ago, which means, he was 21 at that stage, so yeah. Is it a live broadcast or just a score? It's just a score, and if you're going to try and find the live broadcast on YouTube, give me a call. I'll be there for you. Anyways, now attempt number 2 there for Jackson Page, as he's now trying to get himself out of a snooker situation. Laid brilliantly well by Ronnie at the first time of asking after his break-off shot. And this time around, lovely little shot there. Just dropping that cue ball onto the bunch. And back towards Ronnie goes. I think he's going to have the chance here to play the cue ball past the pink and into the shot past the blue as well. So let's see if he's going to be able to achieve that here, as he didn't really want to have a contact made with the green. And at the end of it all, let's see if Page is actually able to get through to a red in towards the left corner. If he can't do that, then he's going to have to just try and play a very careful safety shot of a couple of reds, get the cue ball to be played in towards the side cushion as well. And once again, needs that white to keep on running, because, I mean, it's an interesting situation now, because once again, it'll be interesting to see on what's going to happen with the red into the left corner, because now if you get yourself in a situation where, he's going to be looking to try and play the attacking shot there, it's unlikely to get on the collar from that position, but once again, a decent safety. Would have been a lot better if he actually ended up in behind the brown. Not live on Eurosport 1-2. Yeah, I've actually noticed something. I've seen someone on Twitter to be saying that how badly have they changed the broadcast. The screen that it gives you. I mean, it is horrible when you compare it to the UK Championship, because you see that huge banner of the China Open as Jackson Page goes for a shot into the left corner. He misses out on this occasion, and he's going to have to settle for, a quick trip back to his seat there. And we're going to have to find out on how long that trip is going to be, because for now, he's still looking at an opportunity to try and play the shot into the left corner. I mean, I'll be a little bit surprised if he decides not to take this shot on at all, which he has, but he's missed it. Let's see what the cue ball is going to be placed down there as well. And he will be placed pretty nicely there for Page to try and get a go into the left corner. So then, first chance was very difficult there for both Page and O'Sullivan there. Of course, O'Sullivan trying to cut that red in towards the left corner. And now he will be down to Jackson to try. Oh, that one is going to be way off target. Haven't really seen too many of those mistakes, you have to say, especially since the red was quite far away from other reds. And ultimately, you know, the cue ball was quite in a nice position as well. Now then, let's see the cueing of Ronnie. And that's not going to be tested to anything good for now. So all the chances are going to be undone. And the red is going to be very much over the right middle. So then, you have to say, Page so far getting the easier chances. But Ronnie's previous one was certainly good enough to be considered a decent opportunity. And he wasn't able to take it. So then, it's a chance there for Page to try and carefully take this red away. Once again, very close towards the front jaw, but being able to avoid the contact at this time of asking. Now then, the position is quite an interesting subject to talk about because you've got the black to be possible into the right corner, but apart from that, as he gets plenty of backspin there, I'm not sure if he's actually going to be beneficial here for him because he doesn't really have a lot of angle on the red to try and get the cue ball away here. So you need to generate that one by trying to use a little bit more of the pocket. And I tell you what, he's got plenty of cue action. Honestly, you replace the face and you feel like it's going to be Judge Trump out there playing. Look at how far he got the cue ball. I literally said a second ago, he doesn't have enough angle on the cue ball to get it onto the blue. All of a sudden, I mean, he's got himself lined up for the green and way too straight as well, which means that he's actually overplayed for that one slightly. So, yeah, I mean, it does sometimes help you to get out of those dangerous situations, but I'm not sure what he's done there. I mean, unless he wants to try and go for the red along the side cushion, which, once again, clearly been watching a lot of snooker on the TV previously at the China Open, but, I mean, as he thinks about it, I feel like that, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, even for the generous pockets, I mean, so far away the cue ball is from the red, he's going to have to be a safety for him. And he's going to be leading by just 3 points there. After all, Sullivan yet to score his first point on the board. And the 6 that he's got next to his name are going to be based off the foul that he managed to get off Jackson Page right at the start of the frame as well. So then, having a good look to see what's going to be happening at the right-hand side of the table, which is where the action is going to happen, actually. You feel like this is where, you know, the Reds are going to have to come away from each other. Potentially, there could be, just as it was hitting the shot there, I just wanted to say there was a potential hit of a plan there. Ronnie clearly tried to exploit that. Didn't get too close. But in the end, played a fantastic cue ball control. And doing that in around break building, but also safety sometimes. Now then, a chance for him to go for the red into the left corner. Played with plenty of power. And he caught the pink quite fortunately there for him, but it does seem like it's not going to be fortunate enough because the cue ball is going to find his way on towards the pocket, and O'Sullivan once again finds himself ahead by a single point. But of course he hasn't actually scored a single point himself. I think the red's next to the pink spot is going to be the one that he's going to target right now, trying to pot that one into the corner. Wasn't too close this time around. And once again he's going to brush off the yellow. So I think it's just a matter of time until one of the players will eventually go for the red into the corner. But I think at this time of asking, it's probably not something that you want to be doing for the simple reason of the black to be covered up now into both of the pockets, the pink to be out of position, and the only way for you to play that red and then get onto the pink is going to be into a shot as Page gets very close to the jaw of the middle pocket, and he's actually going to be benefiting from that one in a massive effect there as he gets the cue ball, lines up in behind the yellow. I mean, it wasn't a massive bounce of the jaw, but he certainly had an effect on the shot that he's played there. And now Ronnie, something that he's never been too good at, getting out of snookers. Let's see what this is going to be like. It shouldn't be too difficult. He needs to try and get in behind of the red. But as I say, the more the cue ball travels, the more you think, well, easier said than done. But it was a fantastic shot there from Ronnie. No room given. And, yeah, absolutely nothing that Jackson Page can exploit here in relation to the shots into the left corner. Potentially the one into the green pocket here, but still, I mean, there's going to be so much risk leaving that cue ball down the lower end of the table. So then just a careful shot there for the cue ball, and bounce all the way towards the ball cushion there. Nice little shot there from Jackson Page as he now leaves it down to Ronnie to try and do something with it. Now then, having a look at the reds, potentially taking it to the right corner. But once again, I mean, even if he's thinking about a safety shot, it's not quite a simple thing there to do. I mean, we've seen Trump literally pay a match for that, because that was the mistake that cost him the 9th frame against Sanghan. And, well, I'm not going to say it's going to cost Ronnie the frame, but it's certainly going to cost him a chance here. Way too difficult for me. I mean, he clearly could see the edge of those reds on the left-hand side there, so I don't know why he was trying to create something. Yes, of course, he would have been leaving that red at the top edge of the table, but there's Page there. Quite fortunate not to drop the cue ball after a bounce off the pink, but played a really nice red there, so I suppose deserves that one to an extent. So let's have a look at the position. What have we got ahead of ourselves? Not easy, but interesting actually. It's quite a weird position there, and quite a weird shape of the reds as well, because you basically have got them in a bit of a straight line there in relation to different layers to it. But now it is 16 points to 10, which is the advantage of Jackson Page, and ultimately 123 points of the table still for him to try and make his way from. So then, taking the red into the left part of the table, making sure he's still going to be nicely lined up for the pink. And as he now puts himself 7 points clear of Ronnie O'Sullivan. I think the most interesting thing right now is probably going to be down to which one of those reds is actually going to be the one that causes him a little bit of an issue. Because now, after a little bit of a change to the position, I think the black might actually go to the right corner, which is better than the black not going into anywhere. But still, he's going to be absolutely looking at those reds to try and get rid of the black on the left and the right hand side of it. So then, nice little shot on the cue ball's point of view. But once again, let's see if he's going to be on the pink, because I'm not sure the black goes, but he's certainly sure about it. Now then, if the black goes into the corner, let's see if it is going to be respotted back into its own position, or is he going to have to go somewhere else. The blue spot is available, the yellow spot is available too. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities there for Page to see the black to be respotted. Now then, he's very straight on the red into the corner. So if the black is going to be right in the middle of the action in between the reds, it's not really going to benefit him for now. It may benefit him later in the frame though, when it comes down to a couple of those reds to be covered up by the black itself. For now, he decided just to carefully play a shot onto the pink. So then, let's see once again. I mean, he is getting further away from Ronnie here, but I still think he's not really entering that point of the match where he's going to have a chance, of the frame I should say, where he's going to have a chance to get away without developing the reds, as he does that now, and he does that with the brilliant effect as well. I was just about thinking, and I sort of said to myself, it's not going to have the enough angle there to try and make any difference in between the reds, and boy did he prove me wrong. He had all the angle in the world, and now he's got all the reds in the world as well. Apart from making a pot success mistake, you can't really see where he can go wrong there for him. So the first frame does seem like it is going to be under full control of Jackson Page there, as he gets himself 35 points clear. We're still 91 points at the table, but more than enough reds that he's got right ahead of himself now, as he extends his lead to 36 points. I think he'll need something like 3 more reds maximum, and then that will be very much the end of that one, as he watches the pink nervously to be hugging the inside of the throwing jaw, but once again not touching, because if there was touching, the break wouldn't reach the value of 43. It's a weird shot that he's played. Wow, it's a horrible shot that he's played there. Whether it was down to the crowd, he had a look behind him, but well, he had a look at the scoreboard straight away. I said if he avoids a positional play mistake, he's very keen to be on the blue straight away there. And he's gone for the blue. He spotted that one. He hasn't quite recovered just yet. Let's see if he's able to pot the red into the left corner, because if he does, then he's got a great chance of getting back to the ping there. So it's a great recovery shot, you have to say, after it looked like it was very much down to the break being over. At the end of it, It is going to be the first break of 50 plus that we're going to see at the first time of asking, so just a very careful shot there. As Rogerio, thank you very much for joining in the Members Club, appreciate that. Now then, as Jackson Page is about to create his own Members Club here in China, because he's got a 56 points of a lead, 59 points remaining at the table, so it's still got a great chance of trying to pot the pink, get that cue ball to be running towards the Reds into the right corner, and you never quite know. With this rate, he may be able to make a century break work for him as well. 72 points and 63 points on the break. Once again, one thing about this match, and we always knew that, which is why I was super surprised to see the match in between Selby and Page to go all the way to 4 hours. I mean, I suppose you can understand that with Selby, but which is like, how on earth is Page, you know, he's such a quick player basically, and he's such a, you know, he's such an interesting player to be watching as well, because when he goes right for him, he's one of the most dangerous players in the whole snooker tour, so it'll be interesting to see whether what's going to happen, as he now clearly has decided to go for the pink in towards the green pocket. I mean, look at this. I mean, you swap the face and you feel like it's Ronnie O'Sullivan playing at the table right now. What a shot that is. Look at how well he's cued the white as well. I mean, that was absolutely short, and then he misses the red like that. Come on, Jackson, you can do it a little bit better. But that pink was absolutely the shot of the match. It may be even down to the shot of the day there. Brilliant there from Jackson as he gets himself 77 points of a break there. Jackson Page may as well be called Jackson Storm. He's absolutely taking this table by storm, and now it's all going to be down to Ronnie O'Sullivan to try and respond, as both and all three of Jutrom, Wuize and Ronnie O'Sullivan have now found themselves losing the first frame. You can bring Mark Williams into the equation. You can bring Ding Zhuyi into the equation as well. It doesn't seem like the first frame is very much a lucky charm there for the top seeded players, as we've only seen 2 of them so far to progress towards the round 2. So then, is that true that he actually says table 2? I mean, can you actually imagine? Oh, frame 2. Sorry, I was going to say, can you imagine putting Ronnie O'Sullivan there on table 2 and putting Matthew Selt and Sean Murphy on table 1? I didn't realise he was saying frame 2. I thought he was saying table 2. Let's have a look how table 2 is doing though. Sean Murphy against Matthew Selt. Yeah, I mean, I expected that. Murphy with a frame of a lead and 56 points advantage over Selt as well. And is he not going for a maximum? No, he's not. Okay, just had a quick look to see. Had a break of 61 points in the first frame. Selt still hasn't scored a single point there. That's a lot more like it. I was going to say, I can't believe that you would put Sean Murphy onto, into the same position right now as O'Sullivan, who's very, very inconsistent. Yes, you could say he's managed to up his game a little bit when it comes down to lower ranked players, but I still think you need a bit of a reminder what happened against Alan Taylor in the International Championship against, well, Lisowski probably wouldn't classify for that, but against someone like, well, once again, I mean, yes, the more I go through that season of last, he lost out to Gary Wilson, he lost out to Karen Wilson, Neil Robertson, Ali Carter, all individual, of course. I don't think he's lost to anyone twice in the season, which is incredible. He lost to Chipchaya in the final. He lost to Higgins in the World Championship final. So yeah, I think all of his losses were genuinely to all the different opponents as well. He lost to Lisowski in the International Championship. He lost to... Who did he lose to? He didn't really play much more tournaments, did he? Champion of Champions didn't play. UK, he lost to Joey Long. Masters, he didn't play. World Grand Prix, he lost to Salgadon, I think it was. Maybe someone else. Yeah, I think it was Salgadon, actually, because he managed to... Yeah, I think it was Salgadon, because he managed to get himself through to the semi-finals. Anyway, so yeah, he's been losing all to different players there, but Jackson Page is still outside the top 32. But as I've been saying, whoever gets quite far into this tournament is going to be able to boost their rankings massively. Not just the prize money, but get themselves into a very nice position until the end of the season, because the Player Series is going to be coming up in February. But if you make a good progress now, you put yourself into a very healthy advantage. Just ask someone like Lisowski, that was able to win the Northern Ireland Open, but still didn't qualify for the Player Series because he had a very quiet rest of the season. But someone like Chipchaya, after his win at the World Open, he actually managed to qualify for the Tour Championship incredibly, despite, being absolutely non-existent for 90% of the season as well. I think he had a decent campaign at the Saudi Masters as well. And At the same time, it will now be down to Ronnie. Once again, I'm surprised there with how passive he is on the front foot there. I mean, just once again, just happy to give the chance away to Page. And, he's basically refused the red there. And I'm pretty sure this exact same red is the one that Page is going to try and attempt. Well, he did. He missed it. So that didn't necessarily work out. But, I mean, once again, he's missed it. Now he didn't leave it. So Ronnie's clearly trying to be patient. But I know he's trying to be patient, but he's not really getting anywhere with that, because I've noticed this pattern with him, and it was quite frustrating to be watching against Wilson as well. I mean, he's patient, and then all of a sudden, the other guy just knocks in a brilliant long pot, and then he makes out a break of 100 plus there. You can't really be all down to, leave it down to the errors from your opponent. You need to be allowing yourself to go for those chances. Yes, I'm not saying to go for them every single time there, but, I mean, look at this once again. He refuses a red along the left corner, and now Page is going to go for it, and he's going to make it into the corner. Well, same start then this morning, and this is what I'm talking about. He refused 2 long shots. 2 of those long shots were taken by Page. Yes, he missed one, but then he made one. So I just think it's a very weird strategy there, and he still hasn't scored a point there, Ronnie, when he comes down to his own points there that he's been trying to accumulate. Well, the position is a lot more difficult this time for Page than it was last frame, but I think we've seen the thumbnail from what he's done in the previous frame, although it took him 2 efforts to do that. As I realised it, he sort of ran himself a little bit too straight on the black here as well. But, I mean, once again, it took him 2 times to try and achieve that, as he tries to be brushing the reds away from the cue ball, and he might have actually got him somewhere. Well, not necessarily, but yeah, he had a bit of a look towards the left corner, but he is going to have to try and play a safety. But once again, I mean, it's now 3 times he scored, reasonable number of points. I think, well, probably 2 to be fair. I think 4 points to be scoring, 9 points I should say, is not really down to reasonable. But yeah, well, Ronnie's still looking to get himself on the score sheet. Once again, playing the safety, which if he misses the green, it'll be a good safety. He didn't miss the green, but he still probably classifies as a good safety there, as he hasn't left anything. But let's just watch this space there, because I don't really understand what he's trying to achieve there, because if he just keeps on giving those chances away, he's not really going to be able to get anywhere with that, because, Page is showing you, well, you play a good safety, I'll respond to you with an even better safety, force you to play the shot into the side cushion. And he's doing that off 2 cushions as well, which is very, very awkward to be judging well. And, well, I mean, he judged that one all right, but didn't judge it well. And he's now left the chance away, way too thick. And once again, it's a chance for Page. He's going to be dropping the cue ball to be lined up for the black there, you would have thought. And let's see, he was missing those shots in the first frame, and he's still missing them now. But yeah, I mean, nowhere to be seen on the black. But once again, because he's nowhere to be seen on the black there, he hasn't really left anything for Ronnie. So on this time, of course, you can't really criticise him for not going for something. I mean, he might go for a shot into the yellow pocket. And, well, he may as well, because that was a calamity of a shot that he's played. Very bad safety, and double kiss for good measure. Basically saying, well, you didn't take that one, Jackson, so have this one on the plate. Yeah, I just feel like we're seeing that first part of the season, Ronnie, again, where he just takes forever to get up to speed, and when he does, it's way too late. I mean, he's done that against Wilson when he was 2-0 down, and he sort of managed to up the pace nicely. I think he put himself into 3-2 lead or 4-3 lead, but, he can't really keep on doing that, because you may as well just tell the referee that, the other player may as well just start with 2 frames on the bounce. It's a horrible shot from Page, though. I mean, I'm not going to say he's wasting the opportunity, but he's not getting the most out of it, and he's actually put himself snookered in behind the brown. That's quite funny, actually. He played the brown, tried to get the cue ball past the green, didn't. So the cue ball got stuck in behind the green, and now the brown gets respotted back exactly in the path of the cue ball. But still, plays a decent safety. And the question is, can Ronnie see that red into the right corner? But yeah, as you say, Letitia, same start as this morning. Page probably being very similar to St. Crum, to be fair. Now then, is this going to be the first point? No, he won't be. It's going to be the first real chance that Ronnie's taken in a while. And is he going to get covering behind the green? Yeah, gets fortunate there. I think Page can't really complain. He was fortunate on the previous occasion, but yeah, that one has swung back towards Ronnie O'Sullivan's favour. He may still be able to go for a cross double, which just puts it into perspective. I mean, he's played a brilliant cross double, and all of a sudden that problem and that advantage that Ronnie had has been absolutely disappearing. So then, Page needed 2 chances in the first frame. Now, he needs a third chance here to try and win the frame. O'Sullivan's still looking for the first time for him to score some points. The position is now being developed further and further. Still quite narrow when it comes down to the gaps in between the black there. The pink still out of position. And the black is now going to be completely out of play with the pink out of position as well. I mean, that was a shot which compromised everything there for Page. And even though he's got a 21 points lead, he still needs a handful of points for him to be anywhere near the finish line here for the second frame. Despite already getting 2 golden opportunities, you have to say. He might get the third one now. Let's see the path of the cue ball. He will get the third one now. Once again, safety not being good enough. Way too thin. Way too much pace. And there you go. 2 shots there available for Page to take on. I mean, I feel like if he can see the red in the left corner, if I was his fan, I'd probably say he may as well not see it because, I mean, he's going for it, but it's interesting where he sees the cue ball to go because he had a look at it, but for me, the gap just seems like it's way too narrow for the cue ball to squeeze, but he had other plans. And, well, once again, I mean, where does he find that cue power from? Once again, he's played a shot which seemed like it was so difficult for him to get on the blue, and he's overplayed for the brown. I mean, he's now higher than the ball cushion, and it's as if he's played a really good safety. Yeah, I mean, too good to be fair. I think he can't really go for the brown because he has to take this one into the middle. Be a madman to try and cut this one into the green pocket. So, and with, you know, the cue ball nowhere near to be seeing on the reds, he's going to have to try and play this shot with so much backspin that you may as well just give the turn back to O'Sullivan. Trying to roll up to the yellow with a break of a single point. Now that a chance of trying to get the red probably away from the left corner. I don't really think he's going to be thinking about the attacking options. Just needs to try and get the cue ball as close to the cushion as he can. And he played a decent shot there because it's a smart shot from Ronnie. Because even though Page does have 2 options to be taking a red in towards the right middle, I felt like he wouldn't really be doing that now since there is a red at the top side of the table. Although he's having a very good look at those reds. I mean, he's got 2 options. He can go for those reds or he can play a shot of a safety and off the other red. So he's clearly going to try and pot this one. Well, ambitious, but I mean, don't tell me he got away with that one again. To an extent, he has. I mean, maybe that was the reason actually why I was playing that shot, because he realised that there wasn't a lot of a price to pay there. Always looking at that front jaw a little bit too much. So then, is he going to be first point to score? Yes, he will be. And Ronnie able to find a brilliant angle to get himself positioned for the blue here. Murphy's leading 2-0 against... Yeah, I saw that. I saw him have a 60 points lead, and I thought, Murphy ain't going to be like Anthony McGill. He ain't going to waste that lead against Selt. And has Selt still not scored a single point there, because Ronnie has. And he's put himself right back in the mix for the second frame there. Well, the Wizard is rocketing now. Well, he's certainly trying to get himself... Because he knows, with Ronnie being out of shape for now, he could be the favourite to reach the semi-finals. Because he doesn't have any big names. Like someone like, I don't know, what's he called? Weezer, Neil Robertson. He could play Robertson in the semi-finals, but until he gets to the quarters, he doesn't really have to worry about that. The only big name left in there is Ronnie, and Ronnie just messed up the position completely. He may have the reds into the green pocket, but I think the referee respotting the blue might have something to say about that. So then 12 points scored, and back to the safety play he would go there, it would seem. Who does the winner of this match play? He will be down to Naponsen Kam. He could have been Trump, but he will be down to Naponsen Kam to be played in the round 2 of the main draw. For now, Ronnie's just going to have to play the shot in behind of the red there. Going to be disappointing for him, but at least he got 12 points on the board. And he can be pretty happy with that one, depending on what's going to happen in the remainder for the frame. 99 points still at the table, so you never quite know what's going to happen. And ultimately, you are looking at the red potentially to be taken into the left corner of the table. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. And of course, I mean that only if, you didn't have the red in the way there. I think we might just see players knocking backwards and forwards there for those reds. I mean, Ronnie, seemingly to me, does have a chance to play the other type of a shot there and just get the cue ball closer towards the left side cushion. And if he does have that luxury, he should certainly use it. He could do with an extra shot to play. And that's what he's done. Although he better make sure that he hasn't left the red to be available into the middle. Because if he has, that's going to be the blunder of all blunders. It's exactly what Page is looking at. I mean, it is off the cushion. But I don't think you're trying to bait him like that. I think it's going to be a genuine mistake. Because if you take away the pink, it is a straightforward shot into the middle. And he is looking at it, so, well, that's why I said he needed the cue ball to be on the cushion, on the black ball cushion, I should say, not on the side cushion. And, yeah, same here for me. Well, we'll have to wait and see on what's going to happen. For now, just looking to try and play the red in towards the right middle, which O'Sullivan left him quite generously. Has he got enough of it? Oh, he has. Once again, a huge mistake there from Ronnie out of absolutely nowhere. Just when you feel like he's got the chance to try and put a bit of distance in between himself and his opponent, he's left it on the plate for him. And now Page is going to be trying to run away with it, depending on how far he gets. You're going to have to wait and see. I must support Murphy all the way in this event because of his unlucky loss to Weezer in his previous event. Well, we'll see. I think it was unlucky, but I think he was also down to him missing out on that raid, and I think even he admitted in social media that, he had the chance, he wasn't able to take it. That's the bottom line. Now, then, what about the chance for Jackson Page? A very interesting position, actually, because apart from that red onto the green pocket, which players have been ignoring for the entire frame, which probably suggests it's not really the shot you want to go for, he's got one more red to me, which is available, and there you go, there's your answer. He's got two reds right next to each other, which I think he's overplayed for slightly, but he needed to get a little bit higher than usual to be seeing enough of that red. Now let's see what he's going to be able to achieve. He's going to miss that red. But once again, has he left something? I was just about to say, once again, he hasn't left anything, but the story may be different this time around. Can Ronnie try and take this red away in towards the right middle? He can. And just a very careful shot there, trying to be lined up for the ping. So it will be difficult, though, for Ronnie. Which channel? I mean, it depends. You're not really watching that on the TV, are you? It's going to be down to the streaming platforms, and depending on which country you're going to be on, it all depends on that as well. Should be watching that on TNT in the UK, actually, but I'm not sure if they actually do have the rights for this one. They should do. So probably TNT in the UK, Eurosport in Europe, and, China should have their own channels as well. London, yeah, there you go. There's going to be TNT for you then. If you've got the subscription for the TNT, you should be able to do that. And WSD for short, yeah, I mean, as I say, that's going to be for the international ones. 26 points right now, place 34. It's a massive shot coming up now for Ronnie. He needs to get the red in, and he hasn't. Way too many errors, and doesn't want the cue ball to drop in, and he will. Which, I mean, to be fair, hasn't really cost him dearly, that cue ball drop. Let's have a look. I mean, way too many errors there from Ronnie O'Sullivan's point of view. And let's see, not showing on TNT. Okay, I'll have a look where, because Page is going to be thinking about this one for a while, and depending on what he wants to do with it. Let's have a look. Because I think they sort of published it, HBO Max. So it says it is going to be broadcasting on HBO Max there. So there you go. There's the answer for the UK. And Page seemingly is able to cut this red away into the right corner, get through the gap in between the green and the red. And of course, Ronnie's done once again, as he has been doing throughout the frames. He's now done all the hard work for his opponent. And therefore, he will be down to a decent opportunity here for Jackson Page to try and take this one away. As he's going to get 4 foul points as well, which I forgot to add to his name. Now, he's about to take the blue away on towards the right middle, playing that careful red away. in towards the green pocket as well. So then he's on a break of 7 points. He will need all of these raids, I'm pretty sure. Well, we might actually not need the third one, because now he's going to be 23, 24 points clear. So depending on how many points is he going to be able to score with those 2 raids, might actually be able to get away with that without needing the third one. But yeah, I mean, really doesn't have anything to be proud of for now. Just seems like that form that he sort of managed to build throughout the end of last season, it sort of disappeared completely. And yeah, he's now going to have to start from zero. But even when he was starting from zero, he had a decent match against Chang Min-yu in Saudi Masters. Then he had a really good match against Wilson. Another really good match against Watchalong, where he made 2 maximums in a single match there. But yeah, just seems like he doesn't really have the answer for anything that Page is doing right now. So then a shot for, well, basically the frame there. If he gets on the blue, he should be able to be 36 points clear there, Page, because it's now a shot with the rest, which so far has not been the greatest thing for him. Now they're looking for a chance. Well, this is not quite as straight as he can be, but still played that one really, really well. So then the blue to make it 36 points ahead with 35 at the table, and leave Ronnie to be needing snookers, as he'll find himself being 2-0 behind. And at a very difficult scenario there when he comes down to, you know, being another seat. Well, that's going to be an interesting way for him to play the shot. He nearly got the black to be blocking off the path there for the red, but I suppose he's actually played a brilliant shot there, so that was my bad for thinking that he's played that quite badly. In the end, he's able to put the red away and now just carefully get the pink into the side cushion. Once again, a very quick pace there from Jackson Page, and he's certainly going to be enough for him to win this frame with a break of 25 points. When will the black pot in the next frame is the answer, because this frame is now over as Jackson Page takes another one away from Ronnie O'Sullivan, and you can forget about 120 for the odds in his favour. It is now going to be down to 140, I would say, for Page, based on what we've seen. I mean, maybe a little bit higher than 190. Well, that's... So basically the same odds for now as Ronnie to win as it is for Jackson to win. There's Murphy, by the way, 3-0 against Selt. Brilliant stuff there. Made a century in 2 of those frames as well. And Selt still hasn't scored a single point in those first 3 frames. Incredible consistency there from Murphy. Well, the Q better watch out, because Selt will be absolutely fuming there inside of him. Well, that's going to be interesting. If you think that Ronnie's not playing well, just think about Matthew Selt. I'll tell you what, Murphy's certainly showing how it's done there to the top seeds, as he's now approaching his way to try and make it all the way there. Selby or Wilson is Storm both, and they're going to play each other if they both win their matches in the round 2. So you got that one right. Wilson is going to play against Hill, I think, and I can't remember. Yes, Selby against Pang Jung-soo, I think it is, although it's not precise information. Who will win today? The poll is in the chat, but the poll seems to be a little bit outdated. 88% for Ronnie. Well, I mean, I would not have said it's going to be 88% Ronnie before the match has started, let alone now. I think, yeah, what I said in the percentage perspective, I would have said Page to lose, obviously Ronnie to win, but yeah, I mean, I probably would have said 70% for Ronnie, 30% for Page, but now I think it's 65 for Page and 35 for Ronnie. I just don't think he's got the ability to put himself in that position to be very much on the front foot until the intermission, and of course until that is the case, he's going to have to win 2 frames, as he's now got a break-off shot. Yeah, so Selby is going to play against Pang Jung-soo, and then Wilson is going to play against Aaron Hill. Who else have we got of the top seeds? Zhao is going to be up against Yanganda. I'll be absolutely doing that match, as I'm looking forward to the rematch. Remember, the 2 of them have played in the final last season, which is incredible. I mean, I can't believe Yanganda actually got himself into a final despite showing absolutely no form at all. You know, but he's played really well in that particular tournament. I think it was World Grand Prix. And yeah, Robertson against Chang Min-yu. The world number 2 against the world number 47. And yet the world number 47, in my eyes, is going to be the favourite. So then Ronnie, is he going to be the favourite throughout the remainder of the match? Only time will tell. He finds himself in a very difficult position now, though, as he's now 2-0 down against Page, and ultimately looking very much down to, well, behind him rather than ahead 36 points that he's able to score for now, in comparison to 149 from Jackson Page. Then you can see breaks of 12, 16, 25, and 77 being certainly the one that stands out. Robertson versus Yang is an interesting one to watch. From the neutral's point of view, I agree. I would be absolutely supporting Robertson in that one for personal reasons. But I think it's probably going to be down to Robertson find himself incredibly in a position for me where he's going to be the underdog, despite being the world number 2. I mean, it's an incredible story. It never happens in the world of snooker, but because of Chang Min-yu still recovering after his ban from the World Snooker Tour, as Page there missed that one by a mile. What happened there? I mean, he wasn't even close to those reds. He just missed it by, a significant chunk of distance. Ronnie needs to warm up. I don't dare the Diesel Edge. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that's going to be the case, but Ronnie clearly not fancying that long red to be taken into the left corner. Doesn't really understand what he tries to achieve here, but I mean, Page is not going to miss this one the second time, and even if he does, he's not going to miss it the third time. And he'll need an awful lot of chaos for one of those reds to go over the pocket, which clearly is something that he's expecting. Never used to do that, Ronnie. Never used to put the cue ball back. Absolutely never. And it would infuriate me as well. Would just never put the cue ball back exactly where he was. Would always try and carry on from that position. And this time around, as I say, Page gets the contact. And, well, to be fair, he gets the contact on the green as well. Now then, is Ronnie going to fancy shot? I mean, this is such a brilliant template shot there for that red to disappear into the left corner. But for now, same pattern as the chop match. And for now, the pattern will resume. A brilliant shot there from Ronnie. And he's going to be a match for a brilliant pink that Page has played in the first frame. Of course, that one didn't mean anything. Now just needs to try and get at least a couple of shots under his belt. And just as I say that, I think he run himself out of position. Really good shot on the blue. But he's going to have to be taking the other red away, which is the more difficult one. A lot tighter, and if you miss it, it's going to stay over the pocket. He's missed it. He didn't stay over the pocket because he missed it by so much. And once again, it's a break of 6 points there from Ronnie. And yeah, sad to see. But at least he's still in the hunt, and at least he hasn't given anything away there. Ronnie will win. I mean, I hope you're right. I don't really see it going that way. I think he's struggling to score. He's now scored 6, 12, 14 points. The average break is going to be sat at 0 because it doesn't qualify for, you can see there, the average break is sat at 0 only for the reason of, he hasn't actually scored more than 16 points there, which is the minimum for me to be counting that as the average break, as he there just gets a little bit lucky to brush the cube off the jaws of the middle pocket. Well, but if you count the 3 breaks that he had, it's going to be 6 plus 12 plus 14, quick maths 32. He's going to have 11 as the average break there. He may be able to boost that now though, as once again, Page has played a bit of a bad shot here. It's a mid-range shot for Ronnie. Needs to cue this one well. Has cued this one perfectly well into the heart of the pocket. And he's going to be ultimately top side of a blue there. Just trying to knock on the door. And maybe he'll finally find the key for the door that he needs to unlock to get himself a frame on the board. O'Sullivan is a rocket. No warm-up needed. But as of now, it's looking like... it's looking like one of those SpaceX rockets there when he exploded before it left the atmosphere. So... before he left the actual sort of lift-off station there, that's what it looked like in the first 2 frames. Now, it seemed like they managed to fix one of the reactors, and hopefully now Ronnie's going to be able to get himself into this home, being in around the black spot, played a really nice shot to get right in behind the black there. But for it to work, he needs some really good positional shots there, and he just played the first one. Brilliant shot there from Ronnie to get himself right through the gap of those reds, and now positioned nicely for one into the right corner to be taken. So then still positioning himself for a chance here to take the black away in towards the left corner. Does the pink or the black pot? The pink doesn't, the black does. The black does now because of the brilliance of Ronnie. Just needs to try and get rid of a couple more of those reds, which is exactly what he's done right on cue. And now he's going to be looking for the red to be taken into the right corner here. So 32 points right now is the lead for him. But of course, I don't think it's going to be down to the lead. It's going to be down to a little bit of confidence, a little bit of playing time, and also a little bit of rhythm to try and get into the shoulders. But of course, getting a frame on the ball will certainly help. It's a bit of a weird shot there. I mean, I don't really understand why he was doing that. That was nothing like running shot. That was nothing of calculations. That was pure power. I mean, why? He had two reds right next to him. And he's now gone for, well, I'll tell you what, that's a brilliant recovery shot right into the green pocket there. Well, that certainly is going to shut me up, but I don't know why he had to play the previous shot with so much power. I don't know why he was able to play the previous shot with so much accuracy there on the red into the green pocket. Brilliant there from Ronnie. Able to recover straight away. I suppose 41 points of a gap that he had certainly helped him on that. And several years that he starts slowly. Yeah, I agree. But, you know, he was sort of able to fix that last season, especially in 2026, but seemed to have been back to him again. But he doesn't really start this slowly, to me. And, well, not really going to be able to fix his own issue now. And doesn't really work out what the snap of his fingers there as he's trying to show to the camera. But still, it's a break of 37 points. But I've seen so many amazing comebacks from Ronnie, so 2 frames lead, that's nothing. I agree when you talk about Ronnie that's playing well, and Ronnie's capable of playing well, but I wouldn't really say that's 2026 Ronnie's version. Now then, let's see what he's going to try and achieve from this shot there. Doesn't want to have the same story as it was in the previous frame where, you know, he was the one that was having an advantage and all of a sudden he's played the shot which left Jackson Page red very much even played for him. So still, how's Ronnie's temperament? Too early to say. I don't think we've seen any struggles. I think he was able to put those misses behind him quite well, but he kept on missing, which is a problem. But now he gets himself 47 points of a lead. A very difficult position for a clearance. Made a little bit easier there if you get in behind the green, which Page nearly done, but a little bit over on as well. Interesting situation there, by the way, because he has put a red quite close to the right middle. So Ronnie's going to have to be careful of that. And just as I say that, he needs to miss the brown. Well, he got lucky there. I think if he caught the brown right full in the face, he would have been very much leaving that red on. But because he sort of flicked the cue ball, I should say, away from the brown and into the safe spot there, it's going to be a different outcome. Page is still going to take that same red away and absolutely hammer that one in towards the right corner. Well, once again, comes back down to the same conversation. Are the pockets too wide? And that shouldn't really go in once again because there wasn't, well, maybe it should, but, you know, it certainly does go in the China Open. Now, cue power test. How is your cue power? He doesn't want to be in the middle. He doesn't want to be in the middle at all, and he won't be in the middle. So, nice little shot there on the green, trying to generate all the power in the world. Well, as I said, the clearance was going to be difficult. It's now made it possible for him. And just like he's done that, he's now putting another great red into the corner, but seemingly unhappy with the way. He's going to be positioned very straight on towards the blue here, so 75 points at the table. Still looking at the gap there of 42 points. Will be 37 if he pots the blue here. Now just trying to accelerate the cue ball into those two reds at the left side cushion. He brought one of them into the open play, and he might actually be tempted to try and take the same red away in towards the right part of the table right now, because as he stands, he may be able to play for the shot onto the black there, but I would understand if he doesn't want to take the risk right now. He got that red into a better position. Ooh, he missed the reds. I mean, that was the easier red that he was taking, but all of a sudden, Page is now entering that running mode where he was missing some easy shots there, and that certainly was right back here in the mix. So then let's see what's going to happen here. Ronnie's going to make the red is what's going to happen. Being absolutely flawless now on that particular shot as he's played a really good positional shot on the black as well. Now then, what's the situation with that red next to the pink? Is it going to be possible for him? Where you're watching it, I've got TNT 1. It's not on it. Yes, it's not. It should be on the HBO Max if you got that one in the UK. And, you know, because they flick it on and off there, I just do it on WSD Play. Because I don't really understand the whole UK thing where you have to pay 5 different things there to watch one of the sports. I mean, it's a brilliant way to get you to spend some extra money. Same as TNT and Sky when you talk about the football. I mean, brilliant. And then they put Amazon Prime for that one as well. So, yeah, then Ronnie with a really good shot on the block there, getting himself through towards the frame ball here. 53 points clear, 59 at the table, looking to try and take the red away in towards the left corner, as he now positions himself to be trying to put the black into the right corner. And, well, he seems to be halfway there when he comes down to overcoming a 2-0 deficit and finally able to get himself a frame on the board there, it would seem. As now Ronnie O'Sullivan lost today. He hasn't yet. He's lost a couple of frames, but he's still in the match. And he's just made a break of 25 points now and counting as he gets another red in towards the left corner. So just showing that if Page was able to get a little bit further on that break, it could have easily been him that was doing those shots. And once again, a lovely little shot there on the red, getting it away from the pink and now allowing himself to be looking at a potential break of 50 plus there after being able to make a break of 37 points earlier on. This is his third chance to close off the frame, and this time around it's going to be a successful one. Carefully playing that blue in towards the right middle and getting that white to be right in behind of a red, taking it towards the right corner. So then a little bit awkward with the bridge and his hand, but at the end of it all he's still able to position himself very nicely indeed for the blue. So the total clearance is going to be on there for Ronnie as he now pots the blue away. So then he will be down to 71 points as the highest that he can manage. And get himself the first break of 50 plus out there. Make it the second highest break of the match, which to be fair he's already done. After he's been able to put himself past that 44 points that Page has managed to produce previously. And 25 I should say, sorry. Now then, very carefully taking the shot on the brown here. And once again, mate, when he's flowing, his cueing seems to be absolutely spot on there. And doesn't seem like there's anything to be sort of worried about. But when it comes down to having problems and experiencing some difficulties with having to play those tough shots, it just seems like he's unable to deal with that pressure and deal with the difficulty of some of those shots there as well. As he's now lost the chalk, I should say. And referee there, very inventive, trying to get the rest and get the spider to bring the tip and get the chalk, I should say, back towards Ronnie. And he's not going to bother about the black there for the total clearance. So still, a very healthy break of 64 points there from Ronnie O'Sullivan that he's going to be able to be enough there for him to win that third frame and now put himself right back in the window of being close to Jackson Page, but ultimately being able to try and get that gap down to no frames in between Page and O'Sullivan, but ultimately now looking to try and take that one away on the fourth frame to make it down to Page not having that advantage to be taken into the intermission and still put himself right back in the mix there when he comes down to a decent opportunity of winning this match, because he's still going to need a little bit of work there to be done, because even though you could say there was a really good break of 64 points, but at the same time, you know, there was still plenty of things to improve on, as, for example, trying to win the frame at a single visit to the table hasn't really worked out like that, and still Ronnie was able to get the frame on the board, and that's the most important thing for him for now, as he now trails Jackson Page by 1 frame to 2. Let's have a look if Sean Murphy is still able to maintain his perfect record against Selt, and he is 4 frames to 0, and Selt still hasn't scored a single point. Sean Murphy has had a break of 139 points, 132, 103, and 61. He has scored, let's do the maths, 79, 132, which is 211, 211, 314, 453 points in those 4 frames, and he hasn't scored a single point on Selt. Ouch. I'm paying big money for cable TV, but can only watch live semis and final. Well, I suppose that's also another factor about it, but I mean, that is absolutely extraordinary. Selt hasn't scored a single point, whilst Murphy has scored 453. Well, tell you what, if you think your player is doing badly, at least you're not doing that bad. Unless you're a fan of, what's it called? Matthew Selt. That certainly took me by surprise there, seeing that stat. Anyway, Page and O'Sullivan are about to restart the 4th frame, as it's now going to be Jackson Page coming back to the arena with his own break-off shot there. Once again, he had a 2-0 lead against Ronnie, and now it will be very much down to him to be the player with the break-off. Looking to try and put himself right back in the mix there when it comes down to the action, and also when it comes down to having that 3-1 lead before the intermission is certainly going to help him as well. How's Jackson playing aggressively or not? I probably wouldn't say so. I think he's trying to get himself with those chances, but I mean, it depends. I think he's playing more aggressive than Ronnie. I think I can give you that. 453-0 unthinkable. Exactly. Intermission at 4 frames played. Exactly. I mean, she would take a 15-minute break. It will be later on, but I don't think he should be, as Ronnie there going for the red into the corner. He missed out on that one by quite a bit of a margin. We haven't even been playing for an hour, so I don't think there's any need for a break for now. There will be, though, after we finish this particular frame. But yeah, I mean, 4-5-3 against nil is unbelievable there for Murphy against Selt. It's a double kiss waiting to happen, and Page got away with that one. And Ronnie will know all about double kiss like that, but can he go for the red into the right corner now? Well, he's thinking about it, but thinks against it at the end. Question from Redmean. Yeah, I understand. That's what I'm saying. I understand that completely. What I don't understand is why Ronnie decided not to be taking that red into the right corner. He was there for him. You could say he was afraid of a cannon on the black. Well, don't be afraid is the advice, and that's a very interesting shot selection there from Page. I think it probably was a misjudgment there, because I think he caught that one too thin. He made it look like he was actually trying to cut the red into the middle, which I'm pretty sure he wasn't, because it would have been ridiculous for you to try and attempt that shot like that, especially if you hit the back and jaw, if you're going to undercut it by a small margin. So then he will be down to a shot onto the left-hand side of the table, once again not to be available there because of the pink. So therefore, the right-hand side is going to be coming into play there. As the yellow right now is about to be the target ball in between the yellow, between the cue ball and the reds. But is the white going to travel a little bit further up the table? It will now be down to a shot onto those reds to be taken. Doesn't want to have too many of the reds to be over the pocket. Wants to have a bit of a healthy kiss of the green, and he got both of those things. Because despite having 2 reds to be heading quite close, one to the left corner, one to the right, he still managed to get both of them to be relatively safe. Page gone for another one though. Wasn't able to put that shot away. And now, of course, there's not really going to be any reason for Ronnie to be trying to play an aggressive shot here though, off the black, not to be available into the left corner. So then just play the shot with a little bit of topspin. And yeah, very carefully playing the shot on towards the red out there. So then we'll have to wait and see on what's going to happen. But at the same time, it's probably going to be down to a chance for the reds taken in towards the right middle. I'm not sure if it goes past the ping though, because he might do. But at the same time, you know, we've seen Page to refuse a couple of similar type of shots there. So let's see if this one is going to be any different, as he's now looking for a chance to try and get near a red and potentially put that one quite close towards the right corner as well, as he gives the turn back towards Ronnie, as Ronnie once again looking to try and find one of those reds to be quite far away from the pocket, and he's able to do so, but only just about, as he gets cover onto the green and also on the blue as well. Well, he might actually force Page to be going for a red into the right corner without really having any great news to try and share for it. Well, I mean, surely he can't see that red for an attacking shot. Or he can. Sorry, I thought he can't see. I was absolutely adamant he couldn't see that red. And I was actually surprised while Ronnie was checking there. He can't see the red. I was just about to shout, he can't see, and then he could. Don't know how that worked. But somebody should get his eyes tested on there. And it's not Page or Ronnie. Now then, it's a brilliant chance here. I'll tell you this for free. Because even though the black is out of position, you've got the pink and the blue. And look at the way that he's got those reds to be set up. It's pretty much a dream work. They do share delayed matches. Yeah, I've seen that, but I think they get banned anyway. I don't really understand. I mean, they may be able to get some profit out of it, but I'm pretty sure they shouldn't be. But yeah, I think those matches do get shut down quite quickly. And I think it's because it's in China. It's not going to have as much of a control. And, well, Paige should have had a bit more of a control over that pink. Ronnie's going to be flying towards the table now. What was that all about? Was it fade? Was it a bit of a fade in concentration? Or was it just down to a bad shot that he's played? Now then, Ronnie's going to get his hands on this position. He desperately needs to respot that pink back into the action though. Because as it stands, he's got only the blue to play around with. The black out of position, the pink, ultimately, at the top part of the table. But of course he'll take that. Because that pink is the only reason why he's still very much playing and very much in the action for the frame. Now then 6 plays 7 there for the ultimate trend. But I think if you look at the red taken into the right corner, he may actually be able to put enough distance in between the cue ball and the side cushion there so that he is actually forcing himself to take that pink on whilst getting that cue ball to be dropped onto the lower end of the table. It's exactly what he's done there. So let's see how much of the angle is he going to get on the pink. So just carefully having to roll that one in towards the middle, as he has done. So has it leaked already? Well, Paige time to take a break. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen here though, because for now, we've seen a mistake from Paige. Let's see if we're going to see one from Ronnie. But of course, making a mistake so earlier in the break doesn't really force any pressure on your opponent because, you know, it's basically going to be the same story for them. They don't really have any points advantage, but they don't really have to chase you from being further back than they could have been. There's a few streams you can watch, yeah, but I don't think you're going to be able to sustain them. Not on YouTube, at least. And as he now takes the red away towards the right corner, now carefully plays that shot on towards the pink, and now just getting that position to be sorted out here on towards the pink. Maybe getting that cue ball to be played with a little bit of topspin and a sign there to be getting the white through to a shot onto the red. Yeah, full match is released after live for a few days. Yeah, well. Or alternatively, you can just... I mean, what's the point of having a full match released after a couple of days? I never understood that thing on LFC TV, actually, for Liverpool. I mean, what is the point on watching a full match? Well, I suppose there is a point for LFC TV there, because you can't really watch a full match ever since it is premiered. And for snooker, you might want to analyse something or just watch it in full. But, I mean, you're going to know the result by then, surely. So I don't really understand, unless it's going to be to re-watch that match. I never really got the hype of, you know, watching the match again when you know the results, unless it's going to be down for educational purposes, like studying the position of the player or just looking at his style of play there. As Ronnie just played another interesting type of a shot there, and I think that might be the end of the break. As I was just about to say, an aggressive one, but I was just about to have a look at it, and then I seen that he's running himself out of position. Well, can he try and swerve around the reds? I mean, I'm looking on the left-hand side of it as if that's going to help him. So then, let's see if he can see enough of this red. He can. Well, got away with that one. I can tell you that for free. And it's a really good shot at the end. And WSD do show the matches frame by frame after the game is over on YouTube. Yeah, but only on some of them, Neil, because it has to be... Sometimes they just clickbait you, which I'm surprised for a channel so big, but they give you, like, huge drama, and then you feel like player A managed to beat player B by 20 points. I mean, I actually commented once saying that you're a huge snooker channel. Why do you need to clickbait people into, you know, watching your channel there? I mean, surely you can just post highlights of the match. They always do that on the something like Formula 1 or football or even tennis. What they do is they take individual matches and they just put highlights on, and you know, WSD just sometimes they do it in a very chaotic fashion as well, because sometimes they would allow you to be watching pretty much every single one of those frames, and sometimes it'll be down to like one frame out of 100 or whatever. So we're gonna have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. My live stream is in Chinese. Well, that's going to be interesting because you know, I had a look actually to see the way they were trying to get Ronnie to be speaking with a very specific accent there as well in Chinese, and I was like, well, good luck doing that. But apparently he knows a couple of words in Chinese, as he plays a brilliant shot into the right middle and manages to find that perfect angle for him. All of a sudden, of course, that would have been the frame ball for him as well. And a really good stuff there for him to be. You're all right, it's mostly highlights. Yeah, I mean, it's a very weird one. I don't know why. I mean, Formula 1 got into it like 10 years ago. I think tennis was similar. Football was way beyond that time as well. I don't know why the snooker wouldn't just break it down for a match where you put the highlights on every single match there. I mean, it would boost the numbers massively to me. But maybe they know something I don't. Now then, Ronnie certainly knows something about brake building, and after being unable to make a total clearance on the previous frame, simply refusing to put the black, he's now tried to be getting closer towards those reds, but didn't quite work out on that occasion as he pots a really good shot on the brown. Now then, he's going to have 70 points, very much under his belt, and that should be the end of the 4-frame count. As Ronnie is very happy to be walking his way towards the intermission. Being 2-0 down, he has been able to recover and make it down to 2 frames each. So, as Letitia was saying previously, it is now very much down to a decent opportunity for a chance for a complete rematch of Naphon St. Kham against Watchalong there. You know, the underdog winning the first 2 frames and then the favourite to be responding with the latest 2 to be won. But of course, something that O'Sullivan is looking to avoid there is a very negative start onto the 5th frame. And ultimately, that was the reason why St. Kham was having such a healthy lead against Trump. But for now, he's not going to have any healthy of a lead at all there, Jackson Page. As it's now going to be, the score has been levelled at 2 frames each. It's now going to be the intermission of 15 minutes there. And after it's over, we'll see, hopefully, plenty more good snooker there of long shots to be flying in from Ronnie O'Sullivan and Jackson Page. And some brilliant shots there that we've also seen in between those 2 players on average, showing some great break building skills. As you can see, 64 and 70 were the breaks that allowed Ronnie O'Sullivan to be taking that scoreline from 2-0 down back to 2 frames each. Anyway, now it's the intermission. Let's have a very quick look to see on how Murphy's doing. He got another point on the board, so Selt just doesn't seem like he's going to get a chance out there, it would seem, as Murphy's still flying towards the second round. It is Ronnie O'Sullivan 2, and it is Jackson Page 2 as well. As we get on towards the intermission, it is now all to play for when we return in 15 minutes time, and of course the frame 5 will start at that point. Stay tuned in, more action to see if it is going to be a complete pattern completion of Naphon St. Kham against Watchalong.
Inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind, just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control. Darkness take control. May the darkness take control. Take me in the smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night.
can't believe the night lay waste to all we'd given. But honestly, you've gotta know that this ain't living. But we could run from Elysium and let it burn, let it burn. You've gotta know that nothing lasts forever. I can't believe myself. I never thought that this would be our end, but it's nothing new. And my lover's honesty, I could push it back down if I have to. If you want me to, 'cause we can run. These stars that fall all for you. So tell me now, what's left to lose if we run?
Now, everybody, with 3 minutes to go, it is now almost time for us to be back for the action of the China Open. And very, very quickly on the thing for the stream. Yeah, that was exactly the thing that I thought about it. But then after one of the streams, it was in Saudi Masters last season, I got the father in the ear and he was like, well, if you're going to try and do that, that's fine. But what they do basically is the way YouTube monitors the channels that do provide streaming links is very simple. They delete the channel. So that's why I think it's not really a point for discussion. So unfortunately, if they find there has been what they say is a significant reasoning behind this channel publishing the stream links, unofficial stream links, onto the YouTube, they would block the channel completely. And that's why I always said it's such a bad thing for the other channels to be doing that, you know, trying to get profit, because I don't think you're going to have time to do that. So that's why you can try, but I wouldn't recommend, as I said. And if I see that, you would be gone. The link would be gone and nobody would benefit from it. And also, guys, listen, come on, it's 2026. I think publishing links or asking for links in the chat for an illegal stream is down to 2017, isn't it? It's now 9 years down the road. I mean, you either pay for it or you're going to have to search for something dodgy outside of the YouTube. Hopefully that's very, very clear. And that's why you need to say an extra thank you to the moderators, with especially Letitia there being the one with us right now. So special shout out to you. Thank you very much for the commitment and staying on the channel. Give us the results of the match. Murphy versus Selt. Incredible result, I tell you. 5-0. Murphy still hasn't conceded a point to Selt. I am monitoring that match about as closely as I can. Had 4 centuries, 113, 139, 103, 132. I'll tell you what, this is one of the times where I wish I would have ignored Ronnie. Huya Chani has legal license to stream the China tournaments, but you might need VPN. There you go. That's fine. And I'm happy for you to give that in the chat, you see, because you know, if you ask for it, how to watch the actual match and this is official registration, absolutely fine with that, absolutely no problem. But yeah, let's get back into the snooker. What have we seen? And as I can barely look away from Murphy against Selt, I mean, he's on 15 points right now, Sean. He needs around 70, and then it is going to be a perfect whitewash with Selt not scoring a single point. We've seen that with Chang Min-yu against Sean Murphy at the Scottish Open last season. Well, tell you what, I'm going to be looking forward to the face. Favor that was up. No worries. 5-0, I mean, and he's now 15 points clear of Selt. Absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely. He's done that against Wilson in the German Masters last season, and he managed to reach the final where he lost to Trump. The only final that Judd was able to win. Now he's on 30 points. He's accelerating away. I mean, I'm going to have both of the matches on there because I just want to see if Murphy's actually going to be able to make it 5 centuries incredibly, if he does take this one all the way. Absolutely stunned, but no, I can't do that. We're now ready to get back underway as Ronnie and Paige will return, and it's now going to be very much back down to them to see on who's going to be the strongest in the frame number 5. Whether it will be down to Ronnie O'Sullivan to try and keep on the momentum, or are we going to see another potential chance for Jackson Paige very much to be on top of his game and do exactly the same thing that Naporn Ham has managed in his match against Judd Trump. Just about not enough there in relation to just a little bit too much pace on the cue ball so that he wasn't able to stick the white in behind the brown there. Now then, a chance for the red to be taken into the right corner. If you're going to have an opportunity for the cue ball to get past the black, well, he didn't do that in a clean way, and that's going to compromise him on the exit for the colours. So let's see if Ronnie's still going to fancy his chances. It's a really good long shot though that he was able to take right into the heart of the pocket, but well, he's going to go for his trademark shot on the backspin, and lovely little backspin there that he was able to activate on the cue ball. Somebody was distracting him, but you know, they clearly did a good job there because it's a brilliant yellow, and once again, seemingly, it will be all down to a chance here for Ronnie O'Sullivan to take the red away into the left corner. Still going to have the issue of not having the black to be available, and I don't know what happened there. Whether he was trying to take that cue ball across the table and position himself on the right-hand side of the black. Well, whatever it was, he hasn't worked out. And after potting 2 reds, he's only going to be able to score 4 points. But at least he's not going to give any away, as he is able to give the yellow a bit of a contact, and he'll be back down to Jackson Paige here to try and get himself back to the scoring position. It's been a while since we've seen of him to be doing that. And we're going to have to wait a little bit longer because now gets a little bit fortunate there to see the cue ball to get stuck exactly in between those reds. So is there going to be a chance for Ronnie to try and take the red away in towards the right middle or potentially even the green pocket there? He's going to have a look at it. Probably the only thing that he can do here, especially since he doesn't have a touch and ball. So it's all down attack here for now. And he will resume like that. Brilliant shot there. Absolutely out of nowhere there from Ronnie. He seemed like Page got away with that massive mistake of his own. But now it is going to be Ronnie O'Sullivan to get himself right back in the action. And taking another small step towards a big goal there. Of potentially looking to find himself back in the lead first. But ultimately, of course, still looking to try and make it very much back down to the second round here. After so far losing the only match that he's played so far this season. Cannoning into the blue, very much full ball. Worked out pretty well because he sort of got the blue closer towards the green pocket. And we'll give him a nice little backspin to be working out here as he tries to put that cue ball on the left-hand side of those reds. As he has a little check to see that he's calculated everything correctly. And that red will go past the other three. As he now seemingly looking to try and get himself away from any danger and gets a little bit fortunate there with not putting the cue ball. Got a little bit too much on the contact in between the reds. Let's have a look. I'm just very curious to see what's going to be happening. Selt got his first points. Wow. Selt has got his first points, so Murphy's not going to complete the whitewash there. Wow, okay. Back down to Ronnie then. As he's still going to be by far the favourite to win this particular frame here. As he pots the blue, gets himself nicely lined up for the red. To be taken in towards the green pocket now. He doesn't have anything to disturb him at the top part of the table. He doesn't have a lot to disturb him at the bottom half of the table though, since the pink is not there. The black is still covered up. And plenty of reds are going to be waiting to be put into the pockets there for now. As Ronnie's going to be there to the rescue. Having to play a very careful shot there onto the red in the left corner. Making sure he's got that cue ball to be lined up for the blue. In towards the right middle here again. Being top side of a blue certainly helps. And yeah, still, he's got a couple of those reds to be getting in the way of each other slightly. So it'll be an interesting sort of thing to be seeing there. The way that he wants to try and tackle this one in. Because he's got basically 5 reds. All to be getting in the way of each other. And where do you take the first red in? Well, he's just trying to take the cue ball into one of those reds. Play the shot superbly well. And I tell you what, I think he might be able to get past onto the black there. Because that was the effort that he was attempting. Very much in the previous time of asking when he only scored 4 points on that occasion. Now then a shot at the black. Getting that cue ball to be running away towards the reds. Taking it towards the left corner. Now 43 points is the lead. 39 is going to be the break there for Ronnie. As he's now looking to try and go for the red. In towards the left corner. Very carefully making his way past the black there. And now making sure he won't leave another chance away to Page. The first time we're going to see Ronnie to win the frame with the scoreline to 0. Of course, Page did that in the first frame of the match there. And now the first frame of the second mini session as well. Seemingly for now, he's going to finish with the same result. But a very different outcome, of course, for the players. And for Ronnie to find himself ahead in this match for the first time. Not even based off points, but also based off frames won. But it does remind you of what he's done against Karen Wilson. Of course, faded away towards the end of it. And now just very carefully looking at the red, taking it towards the left corner. Now still getting lovely little position on towards the blue, which of course has now turned into a frame ball for him. And now if he just carefully takes that blue away, he'll be putting himself 63 points clear, whilst only having 59 at the table. So the nice little play through shot on towards the red. And now we can certainly start thinking about the century break to be on the horizon. As we've got, 60 points as the break. And still 51 after the black there. Which puts him now 67 points on the break. And still, as I say, 51 at the table with 3 reds very much available to him. A nice little shot on the cue ball. As he tries to make his way carefully past those 2 reds position on the black ball cushion. He can choose whichever one he wants to try and take first. Ideally needs an angle of course, to get the cue ball to be top side of a black once again, because that's going to be the way for him to play the next red off as well. It's exactly what he's done quite well on the first occasion. And the only colour which is going to be out of position for him is going to be the pink. Being on the yellow spot, of course, meaning that the yellow is going to have to be further up the table out there. But very blistering pace there that we're seeing from Ronnie O'Sullivan now. Able to squeeze another red in towards the corner. And it just doesn't want to be straight on the black here, though. He's going to be looking for where the yellow is. Let's see if he's got enough angle to try and accelerate that cue ball to take it all the way. And if he misses the green, you'll have a great chance. And I think he might just come across the green a little bit. So trying to swerve around it. And brilliantly takes the yellow away as well. So Ronnie doesn't seem like he's going to stop there. And he's on the break of 93 points right now. Ronnie flowing. Well, he certainly is flowing as it stands. And long may continue. But it doesn't seem like his flow is going to be enough there for the century break. It would seem he needs the brown still here. And I'm not sure he's going to get it. He needs to swerve around the pink again. And this time around, he wasn't able to get it. So, it won't be another century break there for Ronnie. But it is, 100 points that he scores. But problem is, the break is going to be finishing at 96 for him. So then, it is going to be frame 1 there for Ronnie O'Sullivan. As he now puts himself to be right back in the action there. And does it with the best possible manner. Now leading by 3 frames to 2. So we won't see the exact repeat of what happened with Naponsa Income against Watchalong. What we will certainly see is Sean Murphy into the second round. The first whitewash of the tournament. Murphy has finished stealth. He certainly has. And he's finished that match with 4 centuries and with a scoreline of 6 frames to 0. Brilliant there for Murphy. He certainly had a train to catch. And he'll be busy for the next couple of days because the round 2 doesn't really start until 3 days in advance. Ronnie will be hoping to join him quite quickly because it's quite weird to see someone finish their match alongside Ronnie O'Sullivan there. And he's barely got into the halfway distance for him to get over the finish line. So Murphy clearly showing how it's done. But Ronnie still showing how to try and battle his way out of a 2-0 disadvantage there. And the handicap that he has left away to Jackson Page has now disappeared. And all of a sudden, it is Ronnie that will find himself to be ahead for the 6th frame. And you can see ball spotted there. Great contrast to what we've seen after the first 2 frames. Foul points that Jackson Page has conceded as well have been flowing in favour of Ronnie O'Sullivan. So I think now Ronnie might just be leading in every single aspect of the game. Especially since he didn't concede too many of the foul points. If you look at the highest breaks as well, you're going to be able to see that, of course, he's got triple the number of ranking points that Page has. But there's a reason why Ronnie, even when he's struggling, he's still going to be very much the world number 14. And, of course, still losing out on a couple of ranking points because of Xi'an Grand Prix that he has participated at 2 seasons ago. So now it's going to be very interesting to see the way that he's going to try and approach this particular battle. As we're now ready to get us underway for the frame number 6. This time around it will be the break-off shot there from Jackson Page, as he has now found himself to be sat in that chair for a while. As you can see, the breaks of 37, 64, 70 and 96 have been flowing in there from Ronnie O'Sullivan, that has now managed to improve his average break over 66.8. And still having 37 balls that he's managed to pot more in comparison to Jackson Page. Still waiting for something to finish off, whether it is down to, the match of Murphy and Sell to be finishing and therefore allowing the fans to get themselves out of the arena without causing too much of a disruption towards the players. But yeah, after such a quick fire 2-frame there sequence from Jackson Page, it has now been very much a quick fire 3-frame sequence from Ronnie O'Sullivan, and he's now put himself back in the lead there for the first time since having a 4-3 lead against Karen Wilson at the Shanghai Masters. And the only time actually he had a lead in this season so far, up until this point. Now then, is he going to be looking for another red in towards the corner? He was. Didn't get too far away from that one. And still played a really nice shot based off the control of the cue ball. Now, doesn't leave anything easy away to Page, but Jackson is still going to be looking for that potential red on the left-hand side there that he's going to be capable of going for. But things better of it for now. And it just feels like he is going to be able to get the cue ball into a good enough position, which hopefully for him won't show too much there to Ronnie O'Sullivan, but he's still going to show enough there for Ronnie to have the chance of trying to go for the red with a long shot into the left corner. Whether he's going to be able to make this one in or not remains to be seen, but yeah, we're going to have to wait to see what happens then. The Reds clearly aims for into the left corner, and he's taken that one superbly well. How's the cue ball control? It's not great, but it's not terrible. And it's now going to be very much down to a shot on the black. Whilst they're showing the replay of the long red, Ronnie's already down to try and hit the black into the corner, which he has done superbly well. And Ronnie just once again in full flow when it comes down to the long shots quite recently. And yeah, he's certainly been able to have some real rockets out there. The other one is Finish or Page managed to win the frame. Yes, I mean, it's now very much down to Ronnie to have taken the previous frame. So it's now 3-2 with the lead that he has. And, you know, of course, the other match of Shaun Murphy and Matthew Selt is now all over. So it's now going to be 6-0 in favour of Murphy. Unable to make it 5 centuries on the bounce, but still able to make 4 in a row. And a really good win for him to try and make it a wrap there. Someone else is going to be looking to try and make quick work of this one is going to be Ronnie O'Sullivan, as he's clearly now going to be approaching full flow. And all of a sudden, he has now found himself being in a very comfortable position there and having a 3-2 lead, potentially about to be extended to 4-2. Look at the way that he's managed to get those reds to be spread out away from each other. Now, one more red, and then Page will certainly need a couple of the reds on the left-hand side of the table there, if not all 3 of them, depending on how well he's going to be able to score here. Of course, if he gets a chance, for now, I haven't really seen too many indications in the previous frames that Ronnie all of a sudden is going to be feeling like a charity and going to start to be throwing chances around. He's been doing that for the first 2 frames quite consistently, but ever since the point of getting the grip in the 3rd frame, the 4th one was very good, the 5th one was even better, and now haven't seen any mistakes in the frame number 6 so far. Is now probably when the 86% of the poll is going to be justified here as it stands. As Ronnie there just able to carefully play that cue ball away from the ball cushion, from the black ball cushion, position himself nicely for a shot in towards the red into the left middle. As he now carefully takes that shot away, still gets the position sorted out, back towards the black there as he goes, and should be able just to carefully make his way towards the reds, which, you know, he didn't feel like there was a gap there to be found, but he clearly found one, as he now gets up to 48 points. So still, of course, going for a potential, although at this stage, a mythical 147. But you never know with Ronnie. But we do know that he's not going to be down to the 147 there, as he tries to get around the reds. Nowhere near to be seen on the black. And he's going to be taking the blue away in towards the left middle. So very careful shot there into the bunch of reds. Doesn't want to be sticking to them. And if he's not, then he's got a great chance now of being over and into the finish line here when it comes down to winning the frame. So a very careful shot back towards the blue. And just having a look to see with what's going to be happening around the blue here. Try and take that one away. And very carefully, once again, with very little pace in the cue ball, just making his way towards those reds. And yeah, Justin Page, there's not a lot that you can say about him. There's not a lot you can say to him that will make him feel any better. He just come across a very dangerous form of Ronnie here. And after seemingly being in such control of the first 2 frames, it has been a massive turnaround in the recent 4 frames. And now, make it the number 4 here for Ronnie. As the people that haven't returned from the intermission yet might be wondering what happened to the scoreboard. And no, he wasn't able to get himself awarded 4 frames at random. At 2 frames since the intermission, but I think it's barely been 25 minutes or so since the intermission has ended, and now, all of a sudden, it is now going to be a 4-2 lead here for Ronnie O'Sullivan. How's the table? Well, feeling beautifully for Ronnie, and not too many reds on it now. There's one less there, as another red disappears, and into the left corner he goes. 75 points of a lead, so very carefully trying to make his way towards the pink, into the left corner as well. So if he wasn't able to make a century break in the previous form, in the previous frame, then he may be able to try and change that sequence now. Trying to go for the reds now to spread them out away from each other. Lost the cue ball a little bit, but still going to be able to recover on the shot for the brown. Murphy in form, but he runs out into Nemesis Weezer in the semi-finals. Well, I mean, there's a long way to go until the semis. He's going to have to try and potentially come across Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarter-final stage, so it's not quite going to be as easy as you might feel. But for now, Ronnie's absolutely flowing out there as he spotted another red in towards the right middle with a brilliant double. Now able to go for the pink in towards the green pocket as well, and he's absolutely is in full flow. And there's nothing that can stop him right now, he would feel. Now the 93 points of a break. He's managed 96 in the previous frame, and he's going to manage 93 on this time of asking. So, just seems to be struggling a little bit when he comes down to, you know, the finish line. As it's now going to be a break of 93 points, and very much in quick fire. Ronnie O'Sullivan has made consecutive breaks of 189 points together, of 93 and 96, which now is going to put him into a very healthy lead there over Jackson Page. So, me and yours prediction, Letitia, that it is going to be following the same script as Sangham against Trump. Hasn't worked out so far, but it may still be a little bit roles reversed, where O'Sullivan might get himself into a 5-2 lead. Page will win a bit of a weird frame, and then Ronnie might get himself in towards the second round with a scoreline of 6 frames to 3. So we'll see what's going to happen as we approach the main part of the draw there. But I do actually want to have a look at the actual draw, since we've already seen Murphy to finish his match. There's not a lot to discuss there. Brilliant from Ronnie. Absolutely free-flowing. Yeah, he's going to be up against Salgadon there, Sean Murphy. And he will, of course, as I say, play the winner of the pairing of Napon Saint Khan against the winner of this pair. Your prediction this morning for Trump applies to Ronnie for now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, that he could be. No, I said 6-1, didn't I? I said 6-1, so I'm going to be off the pace. I mean, as if I said 6-1 against Saint Ham there. I mean, I genuinely did underestimate him, but fair play. Played really well. Yeah, we could see some cracking matches, you know, because we could see Wilson against Selby, Karen Wilson against Mark, so we could see Si Jiaowei against Neil Robertson, which is always an exciting match for me. Obviously, Ronnie against Saint Ham is going to be an interesting one, and, you know, Weezer against David Gilbert. We could also see Chris Wagelin against Zhao Xington, if you talk about the highest rated players. So then for now, because the odds are going to be massively in favour of Ronnie O'Sullivan, as we're still now looking at a potential chance of 6-2 or a potential chance of 6-3 of a scoreline. Ronnie is breaking the master. After this match, which one will you do next? It's a good question. Okay, let's make it interesting then. Because let's not be a bit of a dictatorship. Let's make it into democracy. Do you want... I can't end the poll for whatever reason, which is very stupid and strange. I was just about to start another poll there. I'm not a fan of Chang Min-yu, and I've said this openly time and time again. So, yes, I can end the poll now. So, let's put it down to the test. Do you want to see Chang versus Robertson? If more people say yes, okay, that's a deal. If more people say no, I'll be very happy to say, oh no, anyway. So, yeah, there you go. So, I'm obviously going to be seeing Zhao Xington against Zhang Anda. I'm looking forward to that match massively, because I think it's, as I say, it's a rematch for what we've seen in between Zhao Xington and Zhang Anda. So, then let's see what's going to happen. But for now, it is a break-off shot there from Ronnie that was played pretty well. And now the turn is going to be given back towards Jackson Page, that hasn't really played his shot too well. If no, which match? If no, then it will be down to Zhang Anda against Zhao Xington. Really looking forward to... That's going to be the last of the big names in the first round. And then we're going to be through towards the third round there. As Ronnie, another fantastic... Nearly a long shot, another fantastic pot there that he finds from absolutely nowhere. And he's absolutely flying out there. Should be sponsored by Red Bull, because he certainly has been given wings at the intermission. And look at that for a brilliant shot of the red. And now very carefully taking the blue on the approach. And yeah, as I say, really looking forward to Zhao Xington against Zhang Anda. I might have said that 3 times already, but yeah, it's interesting to see, because I think we've seen Zhang against Zhao at the UK Championship last season, and probably the worst match of the season for him, apart from the one that he had against Jordan Brown a 4-0 loss. I just couldn't get going there for Xiaoxington. But yeah, it was a very disappointing match against Zhang. I was very negatively surprised with how people were saying he doesn't care about the UK since he lost 6-2. But then, you know, like, you're going to see Ronnie to lose to Joey Long 6-4, and then nobody says that Ronnie doesn't really care, although his haters might. Now then, carefully taking that red away towards the right corner. This is where he's going to have to try and make progress with the position. 13 points right now is the lead, taking the black away into the right corner. And, well, I think he got stuck towards one of those reds. He may still have a red into the yellow pocket, though, which is not really the one that you would have expected him to play, especially since he's going to get stuck towards the red. But yeah, it's a very interesting situation there. I don't think he can see that red, though. So maybe he's going to go for the one into the middle. He can't miss for now. Well, he's going to have to miss here. And that was a little bit over-ambitious, but I suppose Page sort of recovered there and found himself 4-2 down, 20 points down in this frame as well. And when I say ambitious, I mean, what is left for Page? Simple answer is nothing, but I mean, I can only see the shot into the yellow pocket, which he can try and take. I mean, surely he's not going to drop the red closest to the cue ball into the right middle. I mean, he's looking at it. I mean, it would be a little bit ridiculous for him to attempt it, but he may as well at this stage. Wow. How tight is this going to be? Ooh, that was very, very, very tight. But very, very good as well. Like, you never know with those type of shots. I mean, I was genuinely thinking, because of how well, you know, how badly I should say, Page was conceding those chances away. I thought he was going to find something, but what can he actually find there? And then the only thing that he could find was, you know, taking that red away into the right middle. It could always be a bit of a comeback here on the start. And I think the whole reason why Ronnie has managed to get himself such a good sequence of 4 frames that he's now won in a row was down to the form that he had, which Ronnie got to play with Weezer. Still, my favourite match of last season. World Open semi-final, decider of Weezer against Ronnie O'Sullivan, where he found himself 43 points behind, took an absolutely incredible red on into the yellow pocket, made that one in, made a clearance, and there you go. I was asking yesterday, when was the last time we've seen Weezer lose a decider, and I've just answered my own question against Ronnie at the World Open. As Page there runs himself a little bit wide there, needs to be careful. He's not going to be up to speed right now, so he needs to be very cautious of just overplaying out there and allowing Ronnie to get back to the table in no time at all. So then he's still got a cluster of 6 reds, all to be right next to each other, and he's managed to develop them with a very similar angle on the ping previously to the one that he's got now. But for now he's clearly thinking against it, and even though he had enough of the angle on the black as well, thought against that one as well. And now then, does find himself in the lead here for the frame, and still looking to try and make it down to a red in towards the left middle. Carefully takes that one away, and as he's now covering the camera completely, and I felt like that was the fade. I couldn't really see there because his big back was slightly in the way, but I think he knew what was happening there. I think that red faded towards the front jaw, and therefore it nearly cost him dearly. I don't know why they're not showing the replays though. They only show the replays for the long shot. I think, you know, I know it's a return for China Open, but I think they've done really poorly on some of the things. I think the draw they've done is quite nice. It's quite a nice way for you to do it, but I think the pockets, I think the table and conditions, and I think the actual broadcasting thing, when they've got the China Open banner to be pretty much half the screen, you can't see everything at the table. And, you know, they don't show you the replays on a very important moment like that, so let's wait and see what's going to happen. For now, Jackson Page is about to happen here. Ooh, that is unlucky. But I can see that walk there that he's got towards the red. He's not going to think it's unlucky. He's going to try and go for this red anyway. Even though he's nowhere to be seen on it, he's clearly going to be in the mindset of do or die right now. Well, it's worked out before for him. Let's see if it will work out again here for him as well. Now then, a red in towards the left corner. No, it's not going to work out on this occasion. And could be a frame loser, could be a match loser as well. You never know with how this frame is going to go, because, yeah, he just felt like that was always going to be heading a little bit too far from the center of the pocket towards the backhand jaw there. So just a very careful shot on the red needed from Ronnie O'Sullivan's point of view. He got that one in. And let's see, a little drop of the shoulder at the end. But a brilliant, pretty much too brilliant, I would say, but all right. He's just about top side of a blue, but he might be able to find himself to be facing the wrong way there, trying to take the cue ball towards the top side of the table. I think people want to listen for Binyu Robertson match. Well, okay. I should have made that one a little bit more difficult. You know, like, you have to give me £1,000 and then I'll do it. But okay, deal is a deal. So we're going to have to, well, I mean, I'm certainly going to be in the mood to do it anyway, since Ronnie wins. Hopefully that's going to be the case, but for now, he's looking nicely for the 7th frame as well, as he now finds himself to be 2 points behind, and still looking for the red to be taken in towards the green pocket. Plenty of backspin, and very carefully played there, not to be covered by the green, on his way towards the brown, and yeah, once again, could have easily been Page doing that, but of course, that final boss that he had of trying to pop the red into the corner, which is going to be the red which Ronnie's about to play for right now, is going to be too late exactly. As I say, the deal is a deal. A red in towards the left part of the table is about to disappear. Just very interesting to see what's the status with those 2 reds next to the pink there. Is the lowest going to go into the corner? Because if it does, Page may as well say goodbye to this frame, as he now carefully threads his way for the ping there into the right middle. So then, 23 points is the break. 10 points is the advantage now in between Ronnie and Page. And he's now got a chance of trying to carefully take that red away in towards the left corner. I vote, no, we'll do both. Letitia, don't worry, we'll do both because they're going to be played at a different time. That's why I would have put 2 options. I just said, do you want to see it as a bonus? No, don't think about it, because as I said, I'm not missing Zhang against Zhao, as I said. There's some of the matches that he can't miss, and it's certainly in the first round, and it's certainly one of them. You know, Zhao Xingtong against Zhang Anda, especially with everything that's been going on with the top seeds, I think he would be very much down to it as well. But the thing about Chang against Robertson, as Ronnie's about to get himself on the frame ball once again, saved exactly, is that he's going to be played tomorrow in the morning. And there you go, as Mark said, Zhao is going to be playing on Tuesday, so there's going to be a day and a half in between the 2 matches, so I think we might just about be able to squeeze that one in, as now Ronnie finds himself ahead by 25 points, so still looking at the angle, which it doesn't really have a lot of on the pink, so may just have to try and take this one in carefully towards the middle, and leave himself with a chance to cut the yellow carefully towards its own pocket. Page there doing the maths. Ronnie realises that he finds himself 4 points clear. In UK, no TV coverage on TNT. Yes, it should be on HBO Max. We discovered that one quite a bit of time ago. As Ronnie there discovers a brilliant safety shot. I think there might be a room for the cue ball to get past the pink and the green. And there was just about, but of course it's Page that needs snookers. And Ronnie was able to get a really nice break of 45 points to himself, as he now puts it down to a shot on the yellow here to be taken. So then another chance here for Ronnie to potentially put the pink out of position here, and just try and place the cue ball to be very much up alongside the spine there, as he played the really nice shot once again. So then a chance for Page to, I mean, probably just cut this yellow carefully in towards the side cushion. He doesn't actually want to cut it into towards the pocket there. But also, he didn't want to leave it for Ronnie, and he might have done that now. Let's see if the blue is going to be getting enough of the way there for Ronnie O'Sullivan not to be seeing that yellow. But in the end, that wasn't the case, and that should be very much a frame winner there. 5-2 becomes the reality there, and who would have thought that was going to be the case after Ronnie was 2-0 down. Well, now he's going to be the one thinking about it, and let's see if Page is going to carry on. He might have to. Yeah, he might have to. Like, he's got no option there. He needs this frame more than anything else out there. And now finds himself 33 points behind and 25 at the table. Still waiting for someone to settle down in behind of him. But yeah, I think he's not really able to have a full purchase contact on the green. He might have to try and pot this one. No, he wasn't trying to. Let's see if he's left it available for Ronnie O'Sullivan. I don't think he has. And it's now going to be down to 33 points being the difference. 25 at the table. So as I say, 2 snookers needed here for Ronnie to lose the frame and potentially make the total clearance to be possible. Lovely little effort there to try and get in behind the pink from Ronnie himself. Somebody should tell him that he's not the one that needs snookers. But I mean, look at the turnaround. 63 balls spotted there for Page. 137 there for Ronnie. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen something like 52-12. And now all of a sudden, in that aspect of the game, he's managed to put around 120 there, Ronnie. Meanwhile, Page has only potted something like 12 in the meantime. Which, of course, he's got 34 points in this particular frame. After having such a good chance at the opening start of it, but just wasn't able to take it away. And now, he surely is going to be the frame winner there for Ronnie O'Sullivan as he now gets the green in towards the yellow pocket. Well, a little bit of a confusion there, but no confusion as who's been the better player ever since the frame number 2. As it's now going to be very much back down to Page to stay in his seat. And he will be down to Ronnie O'Sullivan to have won 5 frames in a row. And he's now only 1 frame away from the target. And as we said, it's now the Ponce come against Judd Trump alternative universe. And it's now Ronnie that has got a really good chance of just trying to get himself over the finish line. And hopefully for him, it won't take too much time because he's clearly seen Murphy and he was like, well, am I worse than Murphy? No, I'm not. So I'm going to have to try and up my pace a little bit. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do that. But so far, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant there from Ronnie O'Sullivan's point of view. Some great skills, some great pace. Scoring has been really good. It's been brilliant to watch. There hasn't been a century, which probably has been the only minor point which you could say he can improve on. But when it comes down to the pure results and the pure things that he's done, I think he could not have really played that match a lot better. And therefore, he's just going to find himself to be in a really good position here because now, unless he loses 4 frames in a row, he'll find himself to be winning this match. And then, of course, through into a match against Naponte and Calm. So, once again, it does seem like we're going to get the Thailand player beating Judd Trump and then facing Ronnie O'Sullivan in the next round, as it was with Chepchaya last season at the World Open. But still, the fans want to see O'Sullivan against Trump. It's been a while. It certainly didn't happen last season, and I don't think it happened the season before last, unless right at the start of it. So, yeah. Of course, Page is still going to be alive there, but I feel like he's hanging on by the fingernail. And I think he is going to be very much down to being the favourite out there for Ronnie to try and take this one away from Jackson Page. Whether he's going to do it in frame number 8 or he's going to have to do it later on. Not on TNT, a disgrace when you play for these channels. Scott Miller, the UK is a funny old country, because you have to pay a lot of money for a monthly subscription and then you can't watch the sports that you actually pay for. So you have to buy another subscription to watch the same sport, and then another to watch the same sport because they give rights to Amazon Prime, to Sky, to whatever. Very interesting way to be doing that, I'll tell you that for free. Well, yeah. I'll tell you what, we had, in my own country, we had we had specific channels. We obviously got Eurosport, which is a bit of a nightmare, but for snooker, I don't think we had the issue like that. And also for the other sport, we genuinely did have just dedicated channels for it. So you'd have 3 football channels, you'd have 1 Formula 1, and the sports that I knew of. You have the Eurosport, which has all sorts of stuff, of tennis, biathlon, and etc. And you spread it out across channels, but you don't have to pay for it separately. It all comes under the same subscription, which... it's very interesting that the UK is very much trying to rinse you for money and just keeps on adding the new sort of broadcasting things and new broadcasting deals, which of course give them money because they're going to be advertising their own channels. And then at the same time, they're going to be charging even more because you're going to have to, pay 2 different broadcasting channels. As Page, I think, is starting to fade away there. It's a brilliant shot there from Ronnie, but once again, it wasn't a good enough break-off shot there from Page. Here in France, snooker has no chance. Women Tour de France Fencing World Championship. Honestly, it's a joke. No wonder people get rigged fire sticks. Well, there's boundary. As I say, that's, not to say that I support it, but you are shooting yourself in the foot, though. I will tell you that. I think you can't really inflate the prices by every single year. Just blame it down on the inflate. Oh, look at that. What was that all about from Ronnie there? I mean, that was brilliant exhibition. It wasn't really a great result. He got the cue ball on top of those reds. Finally going to show us the replay. I mean, look at this. The cue ball on top of the reds, sitting down on them and just trying to get them away from each other. That was brilliant. He's always a bit, well, on the morning, no big events, but on the afternoon. Yeah, this is what I mean, though. Like, obviously, you're going to have plenty of sports to be overlapping there with snooker. And, you know, surely you should be given an option to be seeing both of it. But I suppose you're going to have to put it down to, you know, they'll say you've got Discovery Plus there, but you know, it's not like you need to have another subscription again, which is great. But anyway, back to the snooker. We're going to have a chance here for Page to go for the long red. And as I say, every single time he goes for a shot like that, it could be his last shot of the match. And this could well be the case once again. He feels like he's getting desperate, but he feels like he probably needs to be as well. Because 5-2 down against Ronnie, that he's actually playing quite well. Although he is going to miss this red. Yeah, he is. I was going to say, there's no way this red should disappear in towards the left corner. He missed that one by way too much of the angle. But now Page is going to get another chance here. Let's see how many points he's going to be able to score out of it. And not too good on the action on the black. But to be fair, it may actually be a nice little acceleration point for the cue ball to be placed in towards the reds. Now the back towards the backspin there to be played, and I think he's a little bit nowhere. He might see a red above the pink there to be taken into the left corner. The other morning I was watching Mark Williams settle down to watch Ronnie and it's cricket, and that's on Shambles. Yeah, you mean the Shanghai. Yeah. Well, welcome to the world in 2026, and for now, Page is still alive there. He's hanging on, as I say, by the fingernails, and he's trying to extend it down to a finger before he gets a firm grip in frame number 10, potentially, when he's 5-4 down and he's playing really well. For now, he's nowhere to be seen out there. As he now goes for the yellow, carefully brings the cue ball back down the table here, lines himself up for a shot into the right corner now on the red. And yeah, just looking at the options that he's got with the colours, I mean, he's got to be very fortunate that he's got the blue available, the black available to him, because he's got the pink, the blue and the green all to be covered up there, which leaves you down to 3 colours, but ultimately it won't be the easiest position to try and improve there in relation to the reds from the black, so it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Wish Judd would have got through, then he would have met Ronnie. Yeah, exactly. It's not the first time it's happened. You know, we've seen that in the World Open, as I said, when Chipchaya beat both of them. Oh, that's a horrible mistake. And that surely should be the end of Jackson Page. I mean, he can't be... I mean, a little bit surprised that that one didn't go in, because, as I've been moaning about the pockets for the whole week, but that one actually stayed out there. But Page, yeah, well, he's going to be disappointed. I mean, Ronnie's not really going to care about this one too much, but yeah, he's still going to have a great chance of trying to end the scoreline with that 6-2 in his advantage. Now then, the black into the corner, the cue ball into the reds, the tip out of the pocket. And, I mean, why do I keep calling the chalk the tip there? I mean, the fans of Ronnie might have a cardiac arrest thinking that he's lost the tip there. The chalk, sorry, he keeps losing the chalk, and I keep confusing the tip with the chalk that he has. 2 new words for me. Never realised that these things were what they called before, you know, actually finding out that they were. Just the top part of the cue was the tip for me called, and then the chalk would have been called something else, what we have in our language. But yeah, Judd Trump is not going to be in there, but someone that might be there, and certainly will be there, I should say, Napan Khan. And he's now going to be waiting for the potential ending of this match, as now Ronnie finds himself ahead by 3 points here. But of course, the same thing is going to be relevant to him. He's only got the black available, unless he wants to try and take it all the way towards the brown, which he might have to do now. It's a massive shot there that he needs to try and pull away here, and he's done that really, really well, despite having the cue ball to be on the cushion, and of course digging down massively so that he avoids to be adding any extra side spin that he doesn't want. Hit that one straight into the pocket, and also, of course, hit that one straight in towards the center of the cue ball. So then looking at the reds, in towards the right middle. This should be a transition on towards the black there. And he doesn't really want to be leaving this sacred place for him, as he now finds himself 9 points clear. Still plenty of reds available, and even though there is going to be a little sequence of reds getting in the way of each other, you shouldn't really have to worry about them too much, because as he takes the first one, the second one should be available to him. And now, although he seems to have got a little bit of an issue, the red that he was playing for, he seems to have overplayed. So he's now going to have to take the red away on the left-hand side of the ping. Took that one well. Still going to have prime position on the brown this time around. I'm cancelling TNT after this. Well, yeah, especially like the worst thing that you can do about it is have a subscription for one particular sport, and then the one sport that you want to watch is not the sport that is showing. Brilliant, isn't it? That's money well spent. Now then, 21 points is. I feel like I'm growing to be the biggest TNT hater, but it's true though, isn't it? You know, they write their own rules, and they've got so many of those TNT sport channels. And then they're not really showing the sports that you want to watch there. I mean, you only have yourself to blame. I mean, the TNT, that they're losing people that are going to be paying them money. But O'Sullivan doesn't seem like... I was actually thinking about this as well. He doesn't seem like he's lost a sponsor of the Riyadh season, which is a little bit strange, because obviously Riyadh season comes from Saudi. And I thought Saudi cancelled it because they said they want to suspend everything that is to do with snooker. But they're still sponsoring O'Sullivan, which is a little bit weird. It's a cricket that's on TNT 1. I'm so interested, I can't wait. Cancel all the plans. Phone everybody, phone your parents, phone your siblings, phone your grandmother. It's cricket on TNT 1, I can't wait to be watching that. Probably should learn the rules first. And then I'll be really interested about it. But I'll tell you what, now, it is the black, which will take Ronnie O'Sullivan in towards the second round, and that will be the case. Yeah, they're going to find it hard to stay number one this season, as he's going to make inroads in those ranking events, especially with the points coming off from Saudi. Yes, Paul, exactly that. And he's going to lose them now. I'm pretty sure the Saudi in 2024 was held before the Wuhan Open. So the next time he's going to be turning up to play professional snooker, he won't be the world number one. As far as I'm aware, unless he's got Wuhan before that, then he's got still a chance to try and get a couple of ranking points under his belt. But we'll see if that's going to be the case. One thing is for certain, we want to see a century break. He's been knocking on the door for about 2.5 frames there. Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's had the break of 93, of 96. Can he make it a break of 100 points plus there? Well, he certainly seems to be taking it seriously. 75 right now, so he's going for exactly 100 if he makes the total clearance here. And for now, he's looking a lot more likely here. And it could be just a fairy tale ending there for Ronnie O'Sullivan to make it yet another century to add into his glamorous collection. And yeah, brilliant shot there as he just carefully drops the brownie towards the green pocket. Googled it last night when it's Ronnie and it says it's on TNT at 12th. Yeah, and the worst thing as well is that sometimes they tell you that this is going to be broadcasted on there. This is why I stopped doing TNT there, because I remember it was the first year of the streaming and I had Jowdington against Stevens because he was saying he was going to be on TNT. So obviously I put the thumbnail, put the scoreboard, it's Zhao against Stevens, and then it's not showing it and I'm sat there like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, I've said to everyone that it's a brilliant break, by the way, of 100 points exactly. Ronnie seems like he can't get enough of him playing out there, but certainly brilliant. Look at that. A fan getting hold of his 2 books out there and asking him to sign it. Well, hopefully he's going to get a signature on at least one of them. But that was absolutely brilliant from Ronnie O'Sullivan. After being 2-0 down, he's managed to come back and win 6 frames in a row. And I've got good news for everybody. We are going to see at least 6 more frames of brilliance. And it will be down to Ronnie O'Sullivan to play against Naporn St. Calm. So, I've got 2 really good matches sorted out for the round 2. Dave Gilbert against Weezer, Ronnie O'Sullivan against Naporn St. Calm. Looking forward to that one. And all the Middle East tournaments cancelled this year. In snooker, I don't think there's any, apart from Saudi. And that's obviously cancelled, both of them. And I think if you talk about the other sport, I think they're cancelling some of them, but I think it's all going to come down to money, isn't it? Jackson Page is a poor snooker player. He can't last the pace with good players. I don't know. I wouldn't probably go that far, but at the same time, he'll probably be down to, whether he's going to be able to... I woke up 6 morning Williams versus Joe. Indeed, if you don't sleep, that was yesterday. That was yesterday, wasn't it? Thanks for keeping us up to date, Pouches. Now, thank you very much for everyone joining in there. Appreciate all of you, and as I say, brilliant to be seeing Ronnie to actually play quite well and get some really good points on the board, and at the end, he's now going to be through to the second round, so hopefully we'll see plenty more of the action, as this time around, it is going to be Ronnie O'Sullivan to defeat Jackson Page by 6 frames to 2, and especially after losing out on the first 2 frames, it was super impressive to see of him to win 6 frames on the bounce. The play on the night, apologies, Atisha, didn't realise that, didn't have the brain energy, but yeah, thank you very much for everyone, and in the poll, we've got the deal. We'll see you for Chang Min Yu against Neil Robertson tomorrow. And make sure that everyone has voted for yes, you actually do tune in. Appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for being here with the stream. And stay tuned in. We've got 2 more matches of the first round of Chang Min Yu against Neil Robertson and Zhao Xington against Zhang Anda until we move over to the second round. And he already has very spicy matchups out there. Speak to you soon. See you later. Thanks for watching once again. Special shout out to the teachers, the moderator. But yeah, everyone in chat, thank you very much for the support. Thank you.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah.